Hello, everybody, and welcome to Security Analysis Now. This course is ad hoc drop shipped to you, so I just wanted to take a few moments to discuss security analysis and the importance of it as a SOC analyst. You have to. This is what you do all day, every day is learn security, is do security analysis. You're working tickets and you're deciding whether it's malicious or it's not. So that's all you do as a SOC analyst. All this other stuff that you're learning and training for are prerequisites for learning how to do the on-job training of doing security analysis. I'm teaching you how to do security analysis as you'll do it as a SOC analyst. This is the Splunk environment that we have here at Cyber Now Education, and we basically have a honeypot out there, a couple of honeypots out there that are taking in information and getting attacked 24/7 and sending that information back to a server. Our Splunk server sending those logs back to back to the Modern Honey Network, and the Modern Honey Network is sending all that back to Splunk, and we got a global honey network here at Cyber Now Education. And so you're working with real live data. So you're not working with, this isn't a simulation. This isn't a wireframe. This isn't a, you know what a wireframe is. You go through there and they click your next steps and they teach you where to click and everything. Yeah, that doesn't do any good. We need you to be thinking. We need you to be learning how to do this. We need to be using that brain of yours to do the deep theory. So I'm going to teach you the SOC Analyst Method, which is what we use here at Cyber Now Education. It's a very in-depth, thorough way to conduct security analysis. And it was developed by me over the course of 10 years. And this method is used currently in enterprise situations everywhere. It really caught on like fire, and it's kind of what I'm known for is the SOC Analyst Method. And, even if they might not call it the SOC Analyst Method, they're using this in a lot of companies are using, really big companies are using this method today. So I want to teach you it so you know how to do it. So that way on day one, when you become a SOC analyst, because you're going to become a SOC analyst. And on day one, when you become a SOC analyst, you'll be able to sit in your chair and you'll know how to do security analysis. You won't be ticket shuffling. You won't be burning fire, catching fire. You won't be doing any of that. You're going to be knowing how to work. So we're going to learn how to do this right now. So the first thing you want to kind of open up your screen here for this on the right. You want to put a notepad. This is where you're going to type up the ticket, and on the left you're going to put Splunk. And so your first thing you're going to do is type out the 5 steps of security the SOC Analyst Method, which is first one is reason for the alert, but we just call it reason. But it's reason for the alert, the reason the alert fired, the reason that the alert triggered. And then we go down to supporting evidence is the next one. This is everything that you document that leads up to your analysis. So anything that's covered in your analysis, which is next, is documented in supporting evidence. And then you'll go down to conclusion. So conclusion is just a few sentences, short statements of describing everything that you went through during this analysis and coming up with a conclusion, whether it's malicious or not. And then the 5th step is next steps. So sometimes this could be not applicable. Not every security alert. In fact, most security alerts won't have next steps. But there are some, but you need to at least put NA that you covered in the next steps. But this is for things like additional actions that you have to take out. You have to escalate the incident response. You have to block things on the firewall and you're not on the firewall team, so you have to escalate that and have it put in a ticket for that blocking. Or this might be some rule tuning, or it really varies of what it could be. But these are anything that's not anything that alert is not closed and you're done with it, and there's still actions that need to be taken that you can't take yourself. These are for the next steps, and you list them here. So this is anything that there. So here we go. We're gonna start here. I'm a little anal about this, about spacing. And let's see here. All right, here we go. So in the Splunk, let's look for alerts that have a MD5 associated with it. So these are alerts that malware that we captured malware. So this is a malware honeypot, and we're capturing malware. So we captured this malware, and so we're going to look at it and we're going to analyze it and see what we found, see what we caught. All right. So the first thing is reason for the alert. The reason for the alert is the signature in most cases. So it's connection to the honeypot. So here we go, connection to the honeypot. But this could be any signature, or this is a lab environment, so our rule sets are limited. But this could be any rule, this is just the signature of what you call this alert. This is the reason, this is why it fired. This is because this alert triggered. So for this particular one is connection to the honeypot, and right below that we want to type in what the criticality is of this alert, just to keep it as a reference. So here we go. Its severity is high. There we go. So it's high. Severity high. That way, anybody that reading this knows how important this alert is, and the severity can change after you're finished with it, and you can change it as the analysis goes on. But right now, it's just severity is high. And now we're going to go to supporting evidence. So this is spacing. Here we go. Supporting evidence. So now we're going to start documenting everything that we'll need for the analysis. So it's things like the destination port. The destination port. The MD5, the SHA-512, the source port, protocol, which is called transport here, but protocol, those are the things that we want to document. So let's do it. Let's start with source IP. Source IP is 172. This is going to be really important. 168.52, and we don't really care about the source port. What we care about the destination port. So we're not going to really, even if we did have that information, we would only want the destination port. Because the source port changes, as you connect to something, the source port it goes up and down, and it changes as it's connecting to things. It opens up a new source port, high source port every time it connects to something. But the common TCP port numbers and UDP port numbers, they're always the same. And this one is the destination port, which is 445. So source IP. Then let's see what else we're targeting the source. So anything else about the source that we need to capture here? Yeah, well, here's a source port right here. That's what I'm saying. We don't want it. We don't care about the source port. We do care about the protocol. That is something that we want to document. So protocol, TCP, whether it's TCP or UDP or we want to document that. See, I think that's all for the source port. Oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot. Right here, it's very important. The time. We want the timestamp that this happened. This should be the very first thing. Sorry, I forgot. It should be the very first thing up here. Is the timestamp that this event happened, so you can reference from. And then you go into the source IP, protocol, and you go into destination. Destination IP is 172.17. Oh, yeah, I messed that up, didn't I? All right. Source is destination. And let's see here. 140, 213, 187. I was getting too involved with talking. I almost made a mistake there. Okay, source IP, destination IP, destination port is really important. The reason why destination port is important is because you have a clue of what this traffic is about. You know, most of the security alerts you're able to close as a false positive, and given the information that we're documented here, we'll give context to what this service is targeting, and whether this it looks suspicious or not. And port 445, that it's open to the public is worrisome. So we have a 445 hanging out there. That's Samba. That's Sherry. So he's got it hanging out there on the public internet, and it's worrisome. But it's a really important destination port, and we want to get down to let's go ahead and document the MD5. This is what we captured, the malware. We're going to need to analyze that too. Copy this. And let's do the SHA-512. Let's just go ahead and document that. All right, and this is we document the host, with the host, source type, honeypot. Sorry, this is destination. Destination type, honeypot. All right, so I think we've got everything that we need here. Yeah. All right, so recap what we did. We supporting evidence. We documented the timestamp first. We took the source IP address. We're going to need to analyze whether. We're going to need to analyze the reputations and everything about the source IP address, what it is, and all that good stuff. The protocol that it communicated over is TCP, destination IP. This is what it connected to. It connected to our destination type of DNA honeypot over 445. So, and then we documented our the malware that we caught, which is the MD5 hash, and it's the same piece of malware. It's just a different hash algorithm, SHA-512, which isn't very well used. But all right, let's move on. So now we're going to go down to analysis. First thing we're going to do, we're going to do a who is on the source IP address. So that goes first in your analysis. So take this source IP address, copy it, and go to whois.domaintools.com. You can use whatever whois service you want. I'd prefer whois domain tools unless it's been a really busy day in the SOC and they tell me I can't look up anymore. It sucks because this is my favorite. This domain tools they're so great. I love it. At one point I was working for a company that had a subscription to domain tools, and it was the greatest thing ever as a SOC analyst. It does a lot of cool stuff. But you can use the whois service for free for a number of times. But you can use whatever whois service you want. So it looks like this is it's in Indonesia. So let's go ahead and just copy the first block here and paste it in here. Who is? So we got, looks like this range, it looks like a /16 is owned by PTXL TBK. It's an ISP. Okay. So it's an ISP and it's in Indonesia. So the source country, it just might come in handy later. So let's just go ahead and document that that it's in Jakarta, Indonesia. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do after you're done with the who is, we're gonna check. We're just gonna go ahead and we're targeting the IP address right now. So there's two things that you wanna kind of target here. You want to target the IP address as the IOC indicator of compromise, and we have the hashes for the malware that we found as a indicator of compromise too. So we have those two pieces of evidence right there that are going to help us draw a conclusion of whether this is malicious or not. Now, for all intents and purposes, this is a honeypot, so nothing should be connecting to it. So if anything, it does connect to it, it's always malicious. But it just shouldn't be there. Whether it's malicious or not, it shouldn't be contacted and scanned the internet. There are some researchers and things that scan the internet that aren't necessarily malicious. They're just pain in the butts. They shouldn't be scanning the internet, but they do, and it's legal most of the time. And so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the reputation of the IP address. So we're going to really zero down on the source IP address. You ready? Okay, here we go. All right, so let's look at virus total first. And you really want to check multiple databases of reputation checks because they don't always agree with each other. So sometimes they're different. And so this has a 0 out of 94 community score. It doesn't look like this has been no security vendor flag this IP is malicious. I don't realize that. Probably wouldn't. It probably didn't do anything. All right, so let's go to abuse.ipdb.com and let's check this reputation source. Oh, it says it's found in the database. It's reported 5 times. So that's what I'm talking about. You can't use just one reputation check. So many MSSPs out there, so many people, they only check virus total and then they do whatever it says, and it's so wrong because there's so much more information out there. The databases for reputation checks aren't synced with each other. They're competitors. They're competing for their reputation checks. So you gotta check them all, or at least a few of them. So let's see here. Unauthorized connection attempt on port 23. Port TCP 8080. Port 25. So web app attack. Exploited host. So let's do here we're going to take IP address. Now we're going to do virus total 0 out of 63 times for that. I'm going to do abuse IPDB found 5 times. So this looks suspicious. It's a bit suspicious that is scanning the internet, connecting all these people, and they're what is it doing out there? Just scanning everything. We don't know. So now we're gonna go check one more. We're gonna check one more, and then we're gonna check Google. So here we go. We're We're going to check IP void. Do IP void. Here we go. You ready for this? All right. Here we go. So it was found one out of 93 times. One out of 93 times detected. All right, what is it? Barracuda. Can we? Now here's the thing. You know, some of these IP void. Some of these places you can get more information. Some of them you can't. This particular one you can find out in Barracuda. You can punch in the IP address, and it was listed as poor on the Barracuda reputation. So let's type it right here. Barracuda listed as poor. All right, so that's the IP address of the host that's sending it. Now there is, when you're on the internet, is either a malicious attacker, like their host, where they spun up a host in the cloud, or a host gets compromised and used in a malicious way, used for scanning or sending files or do whatever it is. So we don't know if this is a host that is particularly has been spun up. It's ISP, so I don't, it's really hard to say whether how long the lease is, or who owns it. Is it a person that owns it? Is this a person's home internet that got hacked and now it's going out to the internet and scanning things? We don't know. So we're trying to find out more information. Here we go. So we got that information about the IP address. So let's just do. You want to throw a Hail Mary at the end of everything that you do. Like you go to all the websites that you know, and then you just want to throw a Hail Mary and just Google it. But here's the thing about Google: you don't want to put it up here, because then if you put it up here in the URL bar, I know you can't see it, but if you put it up in the URL bar, and it'll go to the IP address in the URL bar, it'll go to the IP address. So you want to go to google.com. So google.com, and in the search page, you type in the IP address, and this is the Hail Mary. You just want to find anything on the internet that. So it looks like Open Reputation API has one report. That's more intel that we got from just a Google search. Never leave your searches without a Google. Never leave your analysis without a Google search. So this looks like that's Barracuda. We already have that documented. All right. All right, so not much there. Not much information about the IP address, the host. All right, so now let's pivot to the MD5 hash. So let's grab the MD5 hash. This is the file. So right here, we type in, go down a little bit more, type in file, and we type in. So now we want to first start at virus total. Virus total is always a good starting point. Copy and paste the file hash. Holy smokes, this is a lot of red. 58 out of 72. Okay, so this is very bad stuff. Very bad stuff. So 58 after 30, 72. Malicious. It looks like it's a downloader. I think we've got most of the things in that we catch on the internet are WannaCry, but I don't think this is WannaCry. I think we left up and found something unique. Not unique, but different. I mean, the internet's just flooded with WannaCry. Here we go. All right, so now it's obviously malicious. So let's go look at community notes. Community notes, sometimes you can find some stuff. See, they found it in the Dynamite honeypot too, 9 months ago. What is this? It looks like a sandbox report, recorded future. This is cool. It looks like it's been on the internet for a while. So now let's just try to Google. Let's just try to Google it. Oops. Doesn't look like there's a sandbox report. Let's try the SHA 512. No. Whatever it is, it's very malicious. This is interesting. Somebody put a lot of work into this. Indonesia HoneyNet project. Now we know the attacker is in Indonesia too. Somewhere in this document is this IP address. It doesn't look like you can really search for it. 172.172. So we know this is very malicious. Let's recap what we know. We know this is very malicious. We know the sender has a bad reputation at least once. Says it right. Abuse is in abuse IBD 5 times and IP void 1 time, so it has somewhat of a reputation. Barracuda, which is a very legitimate source, listed as poor. And the file itself is 58 out of 72 malicious. Virus total. So it's over 445. What kind of malware is it? I'll go back to virus total. Windows generic minor. Malicious from CrowdStrike. It says malicious confidence 100%. So it's malicious. So we reached our conclusion. It's malicious. Now, this is probably the point where if you're in a SOC, you want to just go ahead and wrap this thing up. You want to go ahead and do conclusion, next steps, and wrap it up. This might be checking the host, the destination host, whether if the file was transferred successfully and it exists on the machine, and then you want to see if it existed on the machine, if it's been executed. Because it doesn't matter if it exists on the machine as long as it's not been executed. So you want to see, these are all things that incident response does. So at this point, you would say it would block the IP address and file hash, because if you block the file hash, you can prevent it from executing. If you have any endpoint tools or anything, so that we're going to go with that. So conclusion. Here we go. So you want to write just a couple of sentences about your conclusion. So we have in Indonesian, host was seen attacking our DNA honeypot over port 445. We captured malware which was trying to transfer to the host. It has a reputation as malicious, and the host has a reputation as malicious. I conclude that this is malicious activity. Now, when you get to this point, you want to think about what are your immediate steps that you want to take. This might be I blocked the hash on the endpoints and blocked the IP address at the firewall. But in large organizations, you might be able to block the hash on the endpoints, but you might need to escalate to do that, or you might need to escalate to this might need to get escalated to 2 people. So you can't, you might, at large organizations, you might not have the ability to take immediate actions. It really depends on the size of the organization and your ability to be able to execute things and permission levels. So let's just assume that you can't do this. So in the next steps, you say, I suggest blocking the. I escalated this incident to incident response and recommend checking the host. Let's just say, Diane, be more specific than that. Honeypot to see if the file transfer was complete and if the file was executed. Block IP address on the firewall and blacklist the hash on the endpoints. And there you go. I think I wrapped it up. So this is what a hey, in this it varies. I don't want you to follow these specific steps, but I want you to follow the 5 specific steps. But you can as you get more experience with this, you can kind of you feel your way through this, kind of like I did. Not everything is going to be as specific and black and white as it might appear in this, but you just kind of want to feel your way through it using these steps in this method, and you would copy and paste this into your Splunk ticket. And this method is mainly used as a training tool to teach people how to think analytically for security analysis. But at the same time, you don't necessarily need to achieve this level of documentation every single time. Maybe just at first you can document this in this manner, but this is a little much for every day in day out for normal SOC analysts. You don't require this verbosity usually, but as a training tool in learning how to do security analysis, you would still need to take all of these steps that I just took today to be able to complete alert, but you don't need to necessarily achieve this level of documentation. But it is really good to know, and sometimes with very complex incidents, you will need to do this. Or if you're at an MSSP and a customer reaches out and says, hey, I need a detailed analysis for this, you can do it's called long form analysis. That's what this is called. And so you can do long form analysis on it to give more details and to show your work and show how you arrived at your conclusion. So that's it. That is the SOC Analyst Method. Good luck, everybody, and have fun out there, all right? All right. See you later.